What's going on, guys? Welcome to DOPEnDUSTY, and today we're going to be doing an unboxing of my Mars Hydro FC 4800, and I'm also going to be setting it up as well in my tent. And before we even get to that, I wanted to show you what I'm going to be putting in my tent, or I want to let you know, I guess, as well. We're going to be putting the clones of the rainbow guava in the clones that I'm going to turn into moms inside of this tent, inside of the FC 4800 light, inside of a 3x3 Mars Hydro tent that I've had, prior before. That's what I grew in my previous grows before I went to my big 8x8 tent. And so I'm also going to be growing some fruit in this tent with my canopy. So I'm thinking that's going to be pretty cool. It's about to be summertime. And so, yeah, I want to have some nice fruit that I'm going to have indoors instead of having outdoors. I'm going to also have some outdoor fruit. If you guys want to see that, I may show a video or two of that. But yeah, go ahead and check these out right here. This is what I am going to be growing as far as fruit. So I have 2 grapevines, which I think this is going to be really nice because I'll be able to grow these along the side of the tent. So it's not going to be so much, taking up too much space inside of the canopy area because it's going to be growing up against the wall. So I'm going to try to get that. Now, I do have some lettuce right here. I have some, I believe this is the Paris Island romaine, and then this is the iceberg. I'm thinking I'm going to plant these outside, actually. I don't know if I'm going to keep these indoors or if I'm going to move them outside. And then these are 2 strawberry plants. And I am definitely going to be keeping these on the inside. And yeah, I'm really hoping for some good strawberries. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the FC 4800. Now, I did just take it right out of the box, so you guys don't see me exactly unboxing it. But all it was is this cardboard box underneath. I pulled it out. These are still the styrofoams that are still on there. And yeah, this manual was just in there like that. So this is what it comes in. So there's no fancy boxing, not that you really need it. And I did look at the user manual, and while I was looking at it, it is not very descriptive, and it actually has pictures of the old Mars Hydro, like the old ones that I have. I'll show you guys my old Mars Hydros that I've had, the TS1000 and the TS2000. I believe the TSW 2000. And so that's what it has pictures of here. Now, I will say in the past, I have not really needed, I see there's actually one set of pictures right here. This is all, I'm going to show you guys right here. This is all the pictures that it shows of the FC 4800 right here. The rest are like this right here, showing the smaller lights. So not that I ever had to use this manual in the past for the smaller lights. I just, yeah, it shows a couple of steps here, but I've never had to use the manual. It's been very plug and play. You plug one light into the power source, and then you plug the other end into your outlet, and then boom, you have lights and you have dimmability. And then yeah, you just hang it up. So I'm going to show you guys how I do that, and if there's any tricky stuff around here, I'm going to show you guys the tricky stuff that may have to be on there, because like I said, it showed 2 steps of some weird plugs in there. So I'll show you guys if I have to do any weird plugging or something like that. So here is the driver. This is what I was talking about. I said the controller or something like that, but I meant the driver. And so I guess that was basically the same thing. Guys, I'm going to show you guys me putting it together so you guys will see as well. But yeah, here's the little dimmer and the on and off switch right there. There's nothing much to it. It is a foldable light, so if you are trying to store it, it is going to be a little bit easier to store. As you guys can see right here, it's not crazy big when it's folded up, so that's nice. If you ever need to store it or move, if you're ever going to move someplace, if you have this like an apartment, moving downstairs or anything like that, it's super easy to move there. And here are the rope ratchets for me to hang it up. And it looks like it has some cable wires. See, now what are these in here? See, I don't know what those are for. These were not in my past ones. These, this is just to mount the driver onto the actual bars right here. Now, you can mount it on the bars, I believe, or you can, keep your drivers on the outside of your tent. And on my TS2000, I kept my drivers on the outside. And the reason why I kept them on the outside was because it was getting just too hot in my tent. Now, I believe the way that this design is, the LED bars, and it's not the same as just one unit with a whole bunch of LEDs in there, and it's not as being able to cool as much, I guess I would say. I think I'm going to mount the unit on the inside and have everything on the inside, so it's a little bit easier. But if you are having heat issues on the TS1000 or TS2000 or 3000, you can just move your drivers to the actual outside. You can unmount them, move them to the outside, and I can show you guys my old setup with my 2000 where they're actually mounted on the outside, and it helps out with the heat because those drivers actually hold quite a bit of heat. And if you can move them to the outside, it'll help save you with heat management on the inside of your tent. And I did want to kind of go over the part of where I said I was going to put it in a 3x3. I know that this light is meant or is advertised for a 4x4, but I believe it is actually perfect for a 3x3. And you're going to get amazing buds across all of the canopy in a 3x3. That's why I'm putting it in a 3x3. Now, you can use this in a 4x4, but if you were asking me what I think this light is best for, is 100% a 3x3. I think you're going to get amazing bud everywhere in the canopy versus in a 4x4, I believe the edges, you're not going to get amazing bud there. So I did want to show you guys just like my old setup. I know how I told you guys how I had them mounted on the outside. My drivers were mounted on the outside of my tent. So yeah, here they are. Here's my tent. My drivers are mounted outside. And this kind of shows you how hot these get. I was kind of worried about them just being on this windowsill. So I put a towel underneath them to kind of dissipate the heat a little bit more before it got to the windowsill. So like I said, these things, they get really, really hot. So I don't know what Mars Hydro was showing on those instructions on these weird things that I would have to plug in on the sides. I still don't see them yet. All I see is this. So I might have to get with them on the instruction manual on that, because that instruction manual has nothing to do with this light really. But I will say this light is pretty straightforward. I mean, you plug this into here and then you plug this into here, and then you plug that into your normal wall outside, you know, your normal wall outlet outside, and that's all you really got to do. So it's not like it requires the instructions, it's just the instructions they have. I don't believe that really have to do with anything with this light at all. So yeah, there goes with that. Now I did want to show you the difference in my TS2000, which is what I grew in my past recent grow. So my most recent video with actual finished buds, that would have been done with this Mars Hydro right here with this light. Now this light is much bigger than the TS1000, about double the size, and this is where the drivers would have been, but I took them off basically. You guys seen them up there, so they were taken off of the actual light itself, and this was the only thing hanging on the inside. And then this is the difference. As you guys can see, this has holes through there, air can go through. You can see how much more cooling can be done. That's why I'm going to go ahead and try to mount the driver on the inside instead of doing it on the outside. And if it is too much heat, I'll just go ahead and mount it on the outside. It's no big deal. I can do that. It looks like there's definitely enough cord right here for me to move it to the outside for sure. So I wanted to kind of show you guys a little video of me kind of trying to get this to set up. I don't think it's going to be very hard. So I'm just going to start off with opening it up. Let's see, right there. It locks out. I'm trying to see where it's going to mount. It actually mounts onto the inside of these rails. These rails on the top side of them, they're actually bars for you to mount this onto. So let's see. Just something while you're setting up your tent, you just want to sit about it and think about it just a little bit on how you're setting up your tent and where your wires are going, because I don't want this to have to come and loop back like this to come back outside of the tent. I want it to be on the same side as, basically, I guess I wouldn't say the same side as this wire, because this one's just coming this way to plug right here. And yeah, but I want this to be looping out through the side that I'm going to be using my outlet at, basically, for my plug. So that's why I'm doing that. And I'm going to try to keep these wires on the same side. Even though this one's going to be coming back, it's not going to be a big deal. It's going to be looping right here like this, and that's perfect for me. Or I can actually pull it up just a little bit and get it fitted right there, and that's even better. So that's perfect. Now I'm going to go ahead and get this mounted on. Let's see. Yep. Oh no. Right there. So it mounts perfectly right onto these bars right here. So that's just a perfect fit. Now I am going to, hopefully you guys can see this. Let me pull this back a little bit. Now I'm going to put that right there. Now this is where this thing's so extended. There's so much cord right here. It's so you can mount your drivers on the outside. If I do have issues, I will move it on the outside, but I'm going to keep it on the inside for right now. It is about to be summertime, and so it's going to get hotter. I may have to move it into the outside, and then in the winter, I may have to move it back on the inside. I don't know, but I'm going to keep it in there for right now, and we're just going to see how it is. I want to see if this cools off better than what that TS2000 did, because with the TS2000, that was a for sure thing. I had to move them out, or I would have had to get some big fans in there to really, really cool it down, and that's just not what I wanted to do. So we're going to see how this works right here. Now these plugs are kind of like a twist and push in type of thing. Where is it at? Okay, there we go. Yeah, you twist, you push it in, you let it go, and it kind of pulls it in together. And now it's locked in. So that is done. Now, I am probably going to get some zip ties or something and then zip tie this cord right here on this side right here, just so it's not just like laying around or hanging underneath and blocking out any light. I may hang it up with, I have some ropes on the inside, so I may just hang it up that way. So yeah, it kind of depends how it is, but I don't want this to be hanging underneath the light or kind of touching to where I think it may get too hot and catch on fire. This wire should be definitely capable of holding up against this heat, but yeah, you definitely don't want it blocking light. And so I didn't get it on video, but I just did it on video. You guys can see these little black caps right here, and I have one on each side. They're just little plastic screws, actually. They're plastic on the inside, and it grabs onto the metal to kind of hold this in place. Now, I wouldn't pick it up by this middle piece, but it's definitely going to hold it from like moving for sure. You may be able to pick it up from here, but I wouldn't trust it at all, and you may damage your lights. But that definitely holds it in place and very, very snug. And so now I'm just going to get these clips on. And so this is how I'm going to hang it. Other people hang it different ways. Now, this is what I find is going to be easiest. And hopefully these are actually going to work. I don't know if these are going to be actually long enough. We're going to see if these can reach. Oh, yep, perfect. They can just barely reach from side to side. So typically I would want something a little bit larger than this. But hey, this is actually going to be really nice in case I grow something really, really tall. I'm going to be able to pull the ratchets up almost all the way to the top, as to where if this was kind of longer, I would kind of be limited to where how much further I could kind of lift it because of how much of a drop was after the ratchets, basically. So what this is you get these two little clips right here and you just latch them on. There's some little holes, or like, not holes, I would say spots to actually just latch this on. I guess I would say handles that look kind of like handles right there. So yeah, you latch the clips onto the handles on both sides, and then I'll show you what we're going to do next. Get these set up on the inside of my tent, and then I'm going to raise the light on the inside, and I'm probably going to need some help. And then, yeah, I'm just going to have probably another set of hands to help me clip these into these that will already be installed on the inside, and then boom, you're hung up and hanging. All we got to do is plug it into the wall. Just to kind of show you guys, I got both of them up, but I want to show you guys one of them. So I just ran the loop over it, ran the loop in. There's no way this is going anywhere. So then now we come down to the ratchet, and this is the other end of the ratchet. And so this is the part that I'm going to hook onto the loop on the light, and this is what's going to basically hold it up. And then I can move the light up and down with this ratchet right here. All right, guys, so you can see now I just got it hung up. And yeah, I just basically hung it up there. I did this by myself, actually. I thought I was going to need another person, but I was able to get it done by myself. So now I have this set up right here to where I have my light switch and my dimmer right set up in front of me. I know how I told you guys earlier I wanted the cords to be heading outwards. And when I was in here, I realized I could either have my cords heading outwards the easiest, or I could have my dimming and on and off switch up in front. And I'd rather have this up front and then just have this kind of just, headed outwards right here. So basically all I got to do now is, let me go ahead and turn this off for right now, and then I'll switch it on in a second. So now all I have to do is, there's two things you got to plug in. As I mentioned earlier, it's just that you're plugging in this blue cord right here, or this black cord with the blue clip, and then you're plugging this into the outlet cord. That's it. That's all you're doing, and then you're hanging it up, guys. And yeah, I'll show you a close-up on exactly how I hung it right here, just to kind of show you guys that, but it's nothing special. So I'm going to go ahead and plug this in so we can kind of see what the light looks like. I do have it at 50% right now, and so now I did have it off, so now I'm about to switch it on, and we're going to see what it looks like. Boom. Wow. That is some even coverage, guys. Like the TS2000, it looks very similar, but whenever I would say the TS2000's light coverage looks similar to this when that TSW2000 was at 100%. Now, I want to see what this, oh, wow. This looks absolutely so bright, guys. You could really, really bring out some crazy plants and flower with this. I can feel some heat coming out underneath it. So the heat's definitely going to be there. I don't know if it's going to be the same or maybe be worse than the TS2000. I'm thinking it's going to be near the same because it's going to be a lot more power here, but you're also getting more ventilation. There's a lot more cooling being able to happen. It may be a little bit better off. we'll see. But I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys a little bit more of a close-up on it. So here is kind of my hanging setup, I guess I would say. So all I did, guys, as you guys could see earlier, is just looped it through. I told you guys how I did that. Then we just came down and then went right here through this loop. These are hung in on the corner edges, set up. That's all we do. And now if we want to go up or down, we just pull up and down on this cord, and there's a release right here. So that's all we had to do there. And then, like I mentioned on the cords earlier, I plugged this in right here. And then we just now, you guys see me plug this in, and the other end goes into the wall. I flip the switch on, and then boom, we can kind of adjust what we want with the power right there. Guys, that's all I did. And just to kind of show you kind of what it will look like from underneath. Oh, wow. So you guys can see wall-to-wall coverage pretty much in this 3x3 tent. That's why I wanted, you know, this light for this tent. It's going to be perfect coverage, guys. So that's going to be lovely. I can't wait for that. I figured I'd show you guys the vegetables that I already have in here, just to kind of show you what they look like on the inside. So there's are the grapes, the lettuce is right there, and those are the strawberries. So I had these just kind of sitting in my living room, so they were getting very, very low light just from kind of like the windows, the light coming in. So now they're going to really kick off and start to grow. I did water them and everything, so they're ready to go. They have water, they have nutrients, they're ready to kick off and start growing. So yeah, there's my little setup. It is going to be set up differently, guys, in here. The next time you see it, I'm going to have probably my fruits and vegetables off to the side back here in this corner, and then I'll have my mother plants kind of like all right here. And then we may kind of, you know, flip some stuff into flower in here. I may move the mother plants out and we'll flip something to flower to see what this Mars Hydro light can do, guys. Because, guys, this stuff looks really bright in here. It looks like perfect coverage. And I've noticed that, you know, LEDs, it's not so much of, you know, is it a special LED? It's more, to me, I've noticed is how good is the light coverage, because that light is going to be strong. You know, I've noticed like the TS2000, it's super strong in the center and it's weaker towards the outsides. And as you could see, it's a, you know, it's a one-piece box right here in the center. And so that's how you could see why it'd be stronger in the center. So now that it's, the lights are spread out over, you know, pretty much the whole 3x3 area, I know I'm going to get a lot of light over a lot of areas. So I'm thinking this light's going to do a really good job. And for the price point of about $600 compared to spending, I know my other light in my big 8x8 was $1,500 now. So those the Lux lights, the 860 Lux lights are now $1,500. You could get two of these and it would have pretty much the same coverage for about $1,200. So that would be the difference there. But yeah, guys, so that is kind of like the difference, I guess I would say, in price. These are supposed to be the Samsung diodes. So I'm supposed to get similar, you know, results. They're supposed to be the expensive diodes, not the best on the market, but they're supposed to be the upgraded ones. So yeah, I'm expecting to get similar results to what I'm getting with a Lux light, just, you know, not name brand. So we'll see what I'm able to produce in here, and then we'll compare afterwards. We'll see what that Lux light can do and what the Mars Hydro can do. All right, guys, and that's going to wrap it up for my Mars Hydro light setup, unboxing, and setup video. And until the next garden session on Dope and Dusty, see you guys later.